I'm really lucky. I live in California. We have lots of sunshine and lots of plant varietals. However, not everyone's quite so lucky, so we're going to show you today how you can bring the outdoors into your life much more and make it all the way green on Mom Ed, Green Living. Hi, I'm Kristen Eichel, and I'm joined today by Susan Cohan, who is a landscape designer, but she's also the founder and the editor of Leaf magazine. Susan, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
So please tell me, what is it that you love about plants?
Oh boy, I love a reason to be outside. That's first and foremost. And then the other thing that I really like about them is that they're always changing. There's something, you'll notice something new every day when you start to pay attention, and they make you pay attention to the world around you.
I think that's a really beautiful point because they're not static, they're alive.
They're alive and they change and they morph, and you have to take care of them to a certain extent, but they really don't ask anything of you other than a little bit of water and some food sometimes.
Well, in exchange for that little bit of water and food, they also purify the air.
Yes.
They give us our oxygen.
They sure do.
But more than that, they also detoxify our environment as well. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Well, there's been a number of experiments going on, some successful, some not, in industrial sites where plants have been used to actually clean up soil toxicity and to help create a more natural environment of these like incredibly heinous industrial dumps. Some have been turned into parks. Probably the most famous that we all know about right now is the High Line, was basically an industrial place, and now it's a beautiful green ward, and millions of people visit it every year in New York City, and it's still really a railroad tracks, but it's a beautiful green place now.
I love that idea where you've taken an old railroad tracks and you've turned it into a city art installation, basically.
Oh, it's incredible, and has just revitalized the neighborhoods around it, and that's one of the things I think that being outside and gardening and adding more green, living green to your life can do, is it can revitalize something that's not so pretty or useful, and it always draws people to it.
Well, we've been fortunate enough to be working with this beautiful green wall behind us. So Susan, will you show us how to build one of these beautiful walls?
I would love to. We've got one a little bit prepared. This is cocoa matting that you can get at any good garden supply store. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to spray it down with a little bit of water in a spray bottle, any spray bottle you have, any kind of water. It'll make it kind of easier to use and a little bit less scratchy. This is very scratchy. The plants that we've chosen today are really easy to find. What we're going to do is we're going to fill these pockets. We've made one big pocket, a bunch of little pockets, and a slit to kind of show you how to do it. And we're going to take some trailing plants. This is just a simple ivy. We're going to take it out of its pot. We're just going to squeeze it so it's a little oval, and then we can very easily, we put a little bit of soil in here, and we're going to put it right in that pocket. And you can see that the plant will sit very nicely in there. And now we're going to add some color. And see how these are all root bound? Mm-hmm. You want to give the plant a little bit of more of a chance, and you just want to tease.
Open them up a little bit?
Just tease the roots out a little bit. Now this one I'm going to face a little bit further forward so that as the ivy starts to trail down a little bit, as it gets longer, you'll have this little pop of color here.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah, and it'll be really easy. And I'm going to use the other ivy here, so you can see that we're beginning to have the beginnings of our green wall here.
So I love how you can get children involved in this idea as well.
You can definitely get kids involved. I mean, this is something that is really easy to do. It doesn't take any special talent. I think that the more we get involved, we get kids involved in gardens and gardening and being outside. You know, they're somewhat disconnected, you know, playing video games and watching TV and doing their homework, that they need to spend more time outside. It's healthier for them, and they'll have a better idea of what our world is about, I think. So I think that that's, you know, getting kids involved in something like this, growing, is an excellent thing.
I think that's a really great point that you're bringing up. And I know as a mom for myself, I love my kids to get outside and just play, where they can touch the earth, they can be involved in the earth, and they can actually get inspired by that. And I think that these kind of teaching moments are really excellent opportunities for our kids to de-stress and to connect and bond in a nice kind of community way. And that's really maybe a nice way that you can actually help to change the earth, one mom at a time. Susan, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, it was my pleasure. I had a great time.
Look at this beautiful wall. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear your posts, your comments. Are you going to make a green wall? Let's hear all about it. I'm Kristen Eichel, and thank you so much for watching us here on Mom Ed Green Living. Next time on Mom Ed Green Living. So, Alexander, what would be someone's big concern about plastics? What would you say?
There are estrogenic chemicals in certain plastics. There's a lot of unknown, as I keep saying, but there is a possibility that as our children are growing and developing, these hormone disruptors can disrupt that development, and then there's a big question mark.